Have you either booked a princess cruise or are thinking about taking a princess cruise? If so, here are 10 things that you should know before you go. The first thing that you need to know is Princess is considered a premium class of ship. This means they are not going to be filled with water slides and rock climbing walls and flow riders on the back of the ship. It's going to be a higher level of service, of quality. It's going to be a little bit more of a relaxing pace than what the mass market ships offer. The second thing to know about Princess is they go all over the world. So they actually have itineraries that they have won awards for that go to 89 countries, all 7 continents, and something like 335 different destinations. So no matter where you want to see in the world, there's likely a Princess itinerary that will meet that need. Now, this includes them being the leader in Alaska for cruises, but not just cruises, for land tours as well. They actually own wilderness lodges and an entire railway that they can offer as part of the experience. So not only can you cruise to Alaska, but you can get some interior time and in-depth experiences in Alaska's interior as well. All right, next is that this is what's considered a medallion class of ship. So as of 2026, every ship in the Princess fleet has the medallions now added to it. What this means is instead of getting a cruise card or a key card, you're going to get a medallion, a little round doodah that you get, literally a little medallion. This is going to provide a variety of things to you. It will open your door, so you don't even need your key to open your door. As you are getting closer to your door, it senses you and unlocks it for you. You also get, in conjunction with their app, you can order drinks or food to anywhere you are on the ship. If you're laying by a pool, you want to order a cocktail and maybe some food, you can do it right on the app and servers will bring it to you where you're located. No need to wait in line at the bar. In addition, this is how you would order room service. This is how you pay everything on board. The app itself is where you can track all of the activities on the ship. It's where you can communicate with others in your party. It's where you can see where others in your party are located. So if you've just gotten out of the spa and you want to find out where your spouse is located, you can find out where they are, or children, or whomever you are traveling with. This is also how you can check your state board account, how you can get directions around the ship. It's incredible. The opportunities that it provides by having that medallion just really sets this cruise line apart from all of the others. To me, I've chosen Princess for all of my most recent cruises because of this service and this ability that no one else has been able to match in my experience. The next thing to know about Princess is what is included. So the standard cruise fare offers dining in the main dining areas. So you have usually 2 to 3 dining rooms that you can choose from. You also have the buffet. You have a 24-hour international cafe. And then as far as drinks go, you get basic, just black coffee, hot chocolate, orange juice at breakfast, and the other items that I have on this list here. Those are what are included. All of the other remaining items, so whether that's cocktails or specialty coffees or a specialty tea that you would prefer, bottles of water, energy drinks, Wi-Fi, specialty restaurants, casual dining restaurants, all of the rest of that is a la carte. When you check in for your cruise, you add a credit card to your cruise profile, and that is what Princess will use to charge all of those extra charges. We'll talk about ways you can get all of those extras for one package price instead of having to pay a la carte for those. The next item I want to talk about are the dining options. So those dining rooms I mentioned, the buffet, 24-hour international cafe. I forgot to mention there's also on the pool deck usually a burger and chicken finger kind of place and a pizza where you can get a pizza by the slice, as well as a soft serve ice cream. Those are usually all included in your standard fare as well. However, there are some additional restaurants that have an a la carte price. There are 2 categories of this. They have a casual dining. So they have items such as Alfredo's, which is won awards for the best pizza at sea. There is an extra surcharge, usually around $18 or so, $15 to $18 or so per person. And it includes I think it's a 3 or 4 courses. So it's not just the pizza. I believe you can get, a salad and you can get some other items as well. But there are other casual restaurants as well, and it varies by the ship. So some might have an Irish pub, some might have the Salty Dog Grill. They usually always have a gelato bar and specialty desserts. All of those are considered casual dining and all would have an a la carte fee attached to them as well. And then you have the specialty dining. So this is going to be your Crown Grill, your Sabatinis, depending on the ship, it also might be Makoto, there's teppanyaki, there's seafood, there's butcher's block. So you have specialty dining as well. Those are also a la carte. They can be around $55 per person. And so if you wanted to experience any of those restaurants, those all require reservations, and you'll want to book those really early, as soon as the reservations become available on the Princess app, so that you can get the time that you prefer, because it does book up pretty quickly. Speaking of dining options in Princess, one of the reasons I go back to them over and over again is their quality of food. I had the privilege of sailing on Princess and then immediately sailing on a celebrity ship. And I could say there was a noticeable difference between the food on the both. Princess's food is just better in my opinion. I know that could change depending on the person who's experiencing it, but I feel like their food is better. And they have the awards to back it up. So for instance, the Royal Princess won the best culinary experience in 2025. Makoto, which is on your Sun, Star, Diamond, and Sapphire Princess ships, they won the best restaurant in 2026. And then the Butcher's Block, which is on the Sun and Star, won the 5-star Diamond Award for their food as well. So award-winning food is available on the Princess line of ships. Okay, so now I've talked about what's included and what you have to pay extra for. And so I want to talk to you about the packages. So if you've been looking at Princess cruises, you probably have heard of their Princess Plus and Premier packages, and you're wondering if it's worth doing. Plus and Premier packages are just different levels. The Plus is a little less expensive, about $65 per day per person, and the Premier package is about $100 per day per person. Premier obviously offers even more. The Plus offers unlimited drinks, even if you don't drink alcohol. This includes specialty coffees and teas, bottled waters, energy drinks, also sodas, which are not included in the standard fare. In addition, it offers a Wi-Fi package, which is the Medallion Max Wi-Fi package, which is actually the higher tiered, faster service, which really does make a difference between the normal Wi-Fi service that you could purchase a la carte. In addition to that, with the Plus, you get 4 casual dining experiences. So that was the Alfredo's Pizza or the gelato or Irish pub, or depending on the ship, that your casual dining options will vary. You can go to those 4 times during your cruise. And it also includes crew gratuities, so you don't have to include any extra gratuities unless you decide to do so yourself. So the Plus package does not include any specialty dining, but it includes those things I just mentioned. Premier is going to have unlimited drinks again, but you can go higher top shelf liquors if that's something that is interest to you. It also comes with unlimited specialty and casual dining. So those top tier specialty restaurants that I told you start at about $55 per person, you get unlimited access to those. So if you want to go to Crown, Sabatini's, Makoto, Butcher's Block, all of those award-winning restaurants, that Premier package will let you go as many times as you'd like. Now, you do have to have a reservation to do that, but as long as you book ahead of time, you should be able to go to all of those to your heart's content. It also includes the Wi-Fi, but up to 4 devices, the gratuities, and then some extra perks such as priority seating in the theater shows, as well as your pictures that they take throughout the ship. So those Plus and Premier packages, in my opinion, are very much worth it. And there are other videos on YouTube where they can actually break it down and do the math for you and show you the numbers. So I won't cover that here today, but just know if you think you're going to use those items, it's usually far cheaper getting the package than buying a la carte and getting a very surprising bill at the end of your trip, let's just say. Because it's really easy to just order one more drink and by the end, you don't realize just how much you've actually had. The next thing to know about Princess is the embarkation process. So when you book a Princess cruise, you will want to download the Princess app pretty close to when you make that booking. This app is where you are going to check in for your cruise, provide photos of your passport, provide your embarkation information, and it's also where you're going to check in for your ship. And the other thing that you do is pre-order your medallion. So those medallions I mentioned, which are your passport lasts throughout the whole ship, and you have to have with you at all times, including when you exit the ship, because that's how you check back into the ship and they know you're a passenger on the ship. You have the opportunity to order that ahead of time. I highly recommend you do so. They ship it to you. That way you have it when you go to get on the ship. Because when you're embarking on a Princess cruise, they have lanes, and 2 of those lanes are blue and green. And if you have your medallion, you're in the green lane and you get to pretty much go straight through. You show your passport and next thing you know, you're on your ship enjoying your day. If you don't get your medallion, you're in the blue line and you have a much longer process because they have to give you your medallion as well as doing all of the other check-in processes. So when embarking, make sure you pre-order your medallion. The other thing to know is different embarkation points have different ways of going about the program. For example, in Los Angeles, they no longer have times to arrive at the terminal. Everybody can arrive at once. Usually it starts, and it depends on the sailing, but it could start as early as about 10 a.m. Sometimes they say you want to board around noon, but there's no individual times assigned to people. So on the app, you might see that they're assigning boarding times. In LA, that never happened. You just know that you need to show up by around 10, 10:30, and then you can get on the ship, sometimes around 12, but your travel advisor can let you know more details about when you should arrive. Now in Fort Lauderdale and other locations, they might have it slightly different. So you'll want to confirm with your travel advisor to make sure you understand when it is that you should be checking in. But the app, if they do have boarding groups at specific times, the app will show you that information so that you know exactly when you need to arrive. The other thing to know about Princess is it can be as formal or informal as you would like. So typically on a standard 7-day cruise, you might have 2 formal nights and 5 non-formal nights. On the formal nights though, if you're the kind of person that doesn't really want to bother bringing fancy clothes so that you can dress up 2 of the nights, you really don't have to. On those evenings, you can just be more resort casual, or if you don't want to be that even at all, you can always choose to eat in the buffet or in one of the casual dining areas, and you do not need to partake in the formal attire. On the other hand, if you are a very formal person and you would like to dress up every night, ain't no one gonna stop you from dressing up every night. So that is not a problem, and you are welcome to do so if you would like. What makes it different on those formal nights is that they usually have photographers set up to take formal pictures if you would like, and everybody else on the ship, not everybody, a lot of people on the ship are also dressing up. So if you feel a little weird, if you're the only one dressed up, you don't have to worry about it on those particular formal nights. But Princess in general, they do have some minimum requirements as far as the dining room attire. You know, they ask you not to wear flip-flops and bathing suits, which I mean, is common for most places that are a sit-down type of a restaurant, versus in the buffet, obviously it's a little more casual, a little more open. So Princess as a whole is not a very formal, rigid ship as the ultra luxury cruise lines typically are. The next thing I want to talk about is the Sanctuary Collection. So on the newest Princess ships, the Sun and the Star, in order to participate in the Sanctuary items, and these are specialty pool areas, specialty dining areas, specialty seating in the entertainment areas. In order to experience those, you need to book in a Sanctuary Collection of your cabin. And you can do that on a suite, a mini suite, or a balcony. But in order to participate, you have to book it the Sanctuary balcony or the Sanctuary mini suite and so on. And it is a ship within a ship is the experience. So you book one of those classes of cabin and then you get access to those priority areas. And only the people who have those cabin types are allowed to attend those areas. So it's less crowds, less people. The other really cool thing is when you book the Sanctuary Collection, it includes that premier package. So you're automatically getting unlimited specialty dining, casualty dining, drinks, Wi-Fi, everything. It's all included. But that is only on the newest Sun and Star ships. Some of the other ships have sanctuary areas that you can partake in, but you would do so for a fee. So for example, we recently sailed on Royal. Prior to that, a couple of years ago, we sailed on Enchanted, and they have a sanctuary area, and it is a specialty area that has cabanas, very comfortable resort style lounge chairs with the thick cushions. Enchanted had a large whirlpool jacuzzi that you could use. Royal didn't have the jacuzzi, but if you wanted to use that area, you can do so, but it is an extra fee. Now, this fee is not included in any of the packages, and you do have to have reservations, but I loved it. We've done it on both ships. You can do either the full day or a half day. We did a cabana for half a day, and it is 2 lounge chairs, the cabana cover with curtains, you have a TV, you have bottle service, a couch. It's just fantastic, and it's so relaxing and wonderful, and it's much more quiet than the pool area. In the afternoons, they have a high tea that they have a cart that goes around so everybody can partake in the high tea. It is fantastic. So especially on at-sea days where the pool areas might get crazy busy, this is a fantastic alternative. So if you're interested in that, one trick to that is immediately once you board your ship, the first thing to do, go up to that bow and get your reservation for that sanctuary, because it books up fast and you can't reserve it ahead of time. Oh, also about the sanctuary, they're not available on all ships. So when you're booking your cruise, be sure to talk with your travel advisor so you can find out whether it's included on that particular ship or not. The next thing I want to talk about are excursions. So when you book a cruise, you don't have to do excursions. As they dock in the various ports, you are welcome to get off the ship and just peruse there at the dock in the city, grab a cab into town, however you would like to do that. However, I'd like to encourage you to at least try one excursion, even if just that. Reason being, excursions allow you to get a more in-depth experience of the town or city or area that you are docked at. Princess has actually won awards for the quality of their excursions 6 times, so they offer fantastic options. Also, if there's something that you really love, say you're a history buff, a foodie, you want action and adventure, they have excursions for everybody. Princess Cruises specifically, yes, they've won their award 6 times, but one of the benefits of it booking an excursion through them, they have a return to ship guarantee. So if your excursion takes too long, say you get delayed, something happens, the ship will wait for you. They will make sure that you get back on the ship before it goes to the next destination. If you're exploring a port on your own, or if you've used a third-party excursion company, there is no such guarantee. If you are not back on the ship by the time the ship is bound to set sail, they will leave without you. So it is something, if you do use a third party or do it on your own, you want to be very, very careful about watching that time and making sure you're back on the ship. Speaking of excursions through Princess, they can't offer everything that might be available at a specific port. Although there's a lot of variety, you're not going to have everything. So if you look at the excursions and you find that there's not really anything that sounds appealing to you, another option would be to use a third-party company to book those excursions. But if you do that, there's a few things to keep in mind. First is make sure you use a reputable third-party company, such as the one that I have linked below. Some, such as Viator, while excellent, they actually are just an aggregate of the tours available and don't necessarily know the quality of them or control them or vet them. There are some third-party that actually vet providers that they use, and so they're only offering excursions with proven companies. So always use a reputable third-party excursion company, and then also make sure you're watching the timing. For example, in Cabo San Lucas, I have a video I'll link somewhere where we just got back from our Mexican Riviera cruise. In Cabo, the ship can't go all the way to the dock. It has to anchor in the bay and then use the lifeboats to tender you, get you to the dock. If I had booked third-party excursion, I would need to know not just when the ship was expected to arrive in Cabo, I needed to build in a buffer of time because it takes time to get on that tender and get to the dock. You also need to have a ticket to get on the tender. There's certain time frames that you have to do it. You can't just get on anytime you want. You need to think about the timing of it. When would be the earliest you could possibly meet a third-party excursion company? But also, when does that excursion end? Do you have enough time once it ends to get back on the ship? And if you're tendering, then that is added time as well. So if you do use a third party, make sure you work with your travel advisor to get the timings right so that you don't accidentally either book it too early or get back too late and miss the ship entirely. Now, I've covered a lot of topics on this video. If you are booking your next Princess Cruise and you'd rather not do it on your own and have some professional guidance, I would be happy to help you. I have a link below of how you can work with me. But also, if you've already booked a Princess Cruise, as long as it wasn't with another travel advisor, if you booked it directly with Princess or any other cruise line, I can also help you with that as well. If you'd like me to take a look to see if there's any extra perks I can add, such as onboard credits or upgrades or anything along those lines. And then check out these videos for more information about Princess cruising specifically. Thank you so much for stopping by. Happy sailing.